On a bright day, under the scorching Arizona sun, the FBI dispatched a team of elite operatives to unleash their assault upon a den of human trafficking. Among the fearless members stood Kate Mesa, a remarkable agent renowned for her unrivaled skills. Their unyielding resolve was tested when their steel vehicle crashed through the fortress gates, igniting the fiery commencement of their mission. Once inside, the agents wasted no time in securing and apprehending the vile criminals who preyed upon the innocent. But not all of them were willing to surrender peacefully, forcing Kate to confront them with lethal force. Amidst the chaos, a trusted ally named Reggie rushed into the room, desperately seeking to ensure Kate's safety. Yet his anxious gaze fixated upon an unexpected breach in the wall, a jagged tear revealing a lifeless body concealed within. The sight of lifeless bodies inside the walls left Kate and her comrades reeling, overwhelmed by a sickening wave of nausea that compelled them to retch in distress. Determined to unravel the ghastly truth, they scoured every inch of the fortress, uncovering a macabre tableau of decaying corpses concealed within the very fabric of its structure. The gravity of the situation demanded the expertise of a forensic team, summoned to meticulously examine the multitude of remains. From every nook and cranny, they unearthed approximately 35 bodies, their identities rendered unrecognizable by the ravages of time and decay. Whispers in the ranks confirmed what the team had suspected. The headquarters was once the lair of Manuel Diaz, a notorious cartel leader hailing from the depths of Mexico, long sought after by the relentless pursuits of the FBI. Their quest for answers took an unexpected turn when the agents stumbled upon a concealed entrance, leading to an enigmatic underground tunnel. Kate, poised to explore its secrets, found herself on the precipice of discovery. But in a horrifying twist of fate, a deafening explosion tore through the air, claiming the lives of several agents in a heart-wrenching tragedy. Miraculously, Kate emerged from the chaos, though not unscathed, nursing a grievous head injury that bore witness to the precariousness of her survival. As night fell, the nation was gripped by the shocking incident, its details splashed across the screens of every major news outlet. Yet, amidst the chaos, the enigma surrounding the body discovered remained unsolved. The formidable FBI and their meticulous forensic team were unable to definitively establish the identity of the deceased. Meanwhile, inside a dimly lit room, a clandestine meeting was taking place. FBI officials anxiously awaited the arrival of a man whose reputation preceded him, Matt Graver, a CIA agent known for his ruthless demeanor in the field. His purpose for gracing the FBI headquarters with his presence was to enlist the services of a woman named Kate, whose life was about to take a treacherous turn. In the midst of the hushed gathering, the higher-ups abruptly summoned Kate, disrupting the tension-laden atmosphere. She was escorted to the interrogation room, where Matt, the enigmatic CIA agent, awaited her arrival. With an air of intensity, he bombarded Kate with a barrage of questions, delving into the enigmatic figure of Manuel Diaz and his family's connections in Mexico. Furthermore, he probed into Kate's own background, intending to dissect it later with the discerning eyes of the FBI officials. After hours of intense deliberation, Matt, the determined CIA agent, finally relented and extended an offer to Kate, inviting her to join their ranks as a skilled strategist. Their immediate target for apprehension, Guillermo, the younger sibling of the elusive Manuel Diaz. As Kate burned with a fierce desire to bring Manuel Diaz and his gang to justice, she wholeheartedly embraced the perilous mission. As the story unfolded, it introduced us to Silvio, a Mexican policeman who led a double life, residing in a destitute slum alongside his wife and son. Silvio covertly toiled under the employ of none other than Manuel Diaz himself, concealing his sinister affiliation from the prying eyes of the world. Meanwhile, Reggie, tasked with escorting Kate, embarked on a journey that would lead them to an airbase. However, due to Reggie's absence from the authorized troop list, only Kate was granted entry, accompanied by officers. She was escorted to the very front of the aircraft, only to discover a peculiar sight, a lavish private jet instead of the expected military transport. As Kate stepped into the aircraft, she was introduced to Alejandro Gillick, a supposed advisor to the Department of Defense and the CIA. However, beneath his official facade lurked a merciless bounty hunter who aligned himself with the highest bidder. Suspicion hung heavy in the air as Kate, now airborne, closely observed her companions. Unease gnawed at her gut, particularly regarding Alejandro, whose murky past and haunted countenance raised red flags. After several hours of flight, the trio touched down at their destination, greeted promptly by a local agent. Wasting no time, Kate, Matt, and Alejandro immersed themselves in the inspector's briefing, surrounded by their fellow team members. Their objective, the apprehension of Guillermo in the treacherous Juarez region, a crucial step towards unraveling the enigmatic Manuel Diaz's web of secrets. As the meeting drew to a close, Kate mustered the courage to approach Alejandro, her curiosity bubbling over. She inquired about his true vocation, hoping for a glimpse into the enigmatic man's past. In a nonchalant manner, Alejandro disclosed that he had once served as a prosecutor in Mexico but now operated across various agencies, including the CIA. However, his response seemed to withhold the full truth, leaving Kate on edge. Her keen intuition and probing nature didn't sit well with Matt, who grew slightly irate. In a display of frustration, he presented Kate with an ultimatum: either join the mission or abandon it entirely. Fueled by her unwavering determination to bring Manuel Diaz to justice, Kate made her decision. She would throw caution to the wind and wholeheartedly align herself with the team. With preparations complete, the specialized forces surged forward into the treacherous expanse of the Juarez region. The unit operated as two distinct teams, the ground team and the air team, each assigned specific roles crucial to the mission's success. Assisting their endeavor were skilled local police officers, well versed in the art of weaponry. During their journey, Kate was struck with horror as her gaze fell upon a haunting sight: severed bodies dangling ominously beneath a bridge. The city itself seemed shrouded in a profound darkness, its moral fabric torn asunder. The special forces successfully apprehended Guillermo without encountering any resistance. Yet, Kate's intuition refused to be silenced. She sensed an undercurrent of impending danger, and her instincts proved correct. They soon found themselves pursued by a menacing group of gangsters, their path to the base barricaded by the enemy. If left unresolved, violence would be their only recourse. After careful consideration, Alejandro and the rest of the special forces made a daring decision. They disembarked from their vehicles, ready to face the imminent confrontation head-on. Kate, however, hesitated, acutely aware of the innocent civilians caught in the crossfire. Soldiers swiftly advanced down the street, unleashing a storm of gunfire upon the encroaching gangsters. Amidst the chaos, local police also turned hostile, launching an attack on Kate. Thankfully, her agile reflexes allowed her to evade their aggression unscathed. With the situation finally under control, the special forces hastily retreated to the safety of their headquarters. As they reached their destination, Kate wasted no time in confronting Matt, her frustration simmering to the surface. She struggled to comprehend the decisions made by Matt and Alejandro, their rationale eluding her grasp. However, her protestations were swiftly met with a scolding, a reminder that she ought to heed the wisdom of those more experienced. Meanwhile, Guillermo found himself confined within the interrogation room, feigning ignorance of the English language. This forced Matt to summon Alejandro, relying on his linguistic skills to communicate with the captive. While Alejandro refreshed himself with a sip of water outside the room, an unexpected reunion unfolded. An old acquaintance, Rafael, approached Alejandro. Once a prosecutor, Rafael shared intriguing news: a tunnel that belonged to Mexico's most formidable drug cartel, under the leadership of Fausto Alarcon, a cousin of the infamous Manuel Diaz. Rafael claimed that Fausto was responsible for the heinous slaughter of Alejandro's own family. With this revelation in mind, Alejandro swiftly entered the interrogation room, wasting no time in subjecting Guillermo to a violent interrogation. Meanwhile, a restless energy gripped Kate as she paced outside the building. Seeking a momentary respite, she approached a soldier and requested a cigarette. As she took a drag, an unexpected encounter awaited her. Jareth, one of the soldiers, extended an invitation for Kate to join him on the rooftop. From this vantage point, a surreal spectacle unfolded before their eyes: the distant clash of warring gangsters. As night descended upon them, Reggie arrived to collect Kate and Matt, with Alejandro in tow. Their destination, Tucson, guided by the intelligence extracted from Guillermo. Upon arrival, they were greeted by Alfredo, an immigration officer. However, before delving into their meeting with the immigrants, Kate approached Alfredo, once again seeking a cigarette. Her motives remained mysterious, but it was clear that she had developed the habit of making such requests. After savoring her smoke, Kate swiftly joined Matt and Alejandro, eager to confer with them. They proceeded to separate the immigrants from Nogales, each step inching them closer to their mission. While Alejandro pursued his own line of questioning, probing for individuals potentially linked to Fausto Alarcon's cartel organization, Reggie seized the opportunity to seek clarification from Kate regarding their mission. Frustratingly, Kate kept her intentions veiled, leaving Reggie in a state of resignation. Determined for answers, Reggie reached his breaking point, demanding a direct conversation with the CIA agent. Finally, Matt and Alejandro succumbed to the mounting pressure, unveiling the intricate details of their mission. Their plan entailed infiltrating the clandestine tunnel belonging to the cartel, capturing Manuel Diaz, and subsequently unveiling the whereabouts of the volatile Fausto Alarcon. The urgency of the situation loomed large, as failure to apprehend Fausto swiftly would result in senseless acts of violence against innocent citizens. Upon absorbing this explanation, Kate and Reggie experienced a fleeting sense of calm. The following day, Kate and Reggie reconvened with Matt. This time, they would scrutinize the map outlining the labyrinthine tunnel of the cartel. Their next objective was to trace the whereabouts of Manuel Diaz. Waste no time, Matt directed his attention to the bank's CCTV footage, identifying and marking several individuals associated with Manuel Diaz's criminal network. Swiftly, he issued orders for his men to apprehend them. As Kate observed the confiscated cash and the bracelets belonging to Manuel Diaz's henchmen, she grew resolute in her desire to enter the bank. Despite Matt's stern prohibition. She yearned to ascertain whether her own account had been frozen. However, the evidence collected thus far fell short of providing sufficient grounds for Manuel Diaz's arrest. Matt, suspecting the cartel's manipulation of the data, made a disheartening decision, leaving Kate deeply disappointed. Driven by her conviction, Kate, accompanied by Reggie, promptly reported their concerns to their superiors. Yet, to their surprise, their superiors defended Matt's judgment. They explained that despite the FBI's reservations, individuals like Matt and Alejandro operated within a framework of established procedures. The higher-ups affirmed that their course of action was not to be taken lightly. While Kate struggled to accept this, she had no choice but to acknowledge the weight of their words. As evening descended, Reggie sought to alleviate the mounting tension by taking Kate to a nearby bar. Their hope was to find solace and relaxation within its walls. Before long, Reggie's path intersected with an old friend from the border police force named Ted. At first glance, Ted's eyes were captivated by Kate, and he wasted no time in inviting her to dance. As they swayed on the dance floor, Kate's keen eyes detected something amiss, an ominous bracelet that bore the mark of the cartel. Instantly, she distanced herself from Ted, wary of the danger lurking beneath his charm. However, before she could react, Ted's penetrating gaze locked onto her. A confrontation became inevitable. In a harrowing struggle, Ted began to throttle Kate, his grip tightening, until an unexpected intervention disrupted the scene. Alejandro stormed in, brandishing his weapon, and swiftly neutralized Ted's threat. In that moment, Kate's anger shifted towards Matt, convinced that she had been shamelessly exploited as bait. Yet, the truth revealed itself. Kate had unwittingly walked into her own trap. Her desperation to infiltrate the bank had led her down this treacherous path. Meanwhile, Reggie stood there, shaken and bewildered, realizing that his perception of his friend as an upstanding cop had been shattered. On the opposing side, Matt and Alejandro continued their relentless interrogation tactics, tormenting Ted inside the car. In a desperate attempt to extract the truth, Matt resorted to a heinous threat, promising to harm Ted's ex-wife and daughter. Faced with such a harrowing ultimatum, Ted reluctantly divulged crucial information about Manuel Diaz and the illicit drug routes. Following the intense ordeal, Alejandro ventured to Ted's quarters, ensuring Kate's well-being. Grateful for his timely intervention, Kate expressed her appreciation. In a vulnerable moment, Alejandro confessed that Kate bore a striking resemblance to his deceased daughter. Overwhelmed by this revelation, he urged her to rest, assuring her that the mission would resume the next day. In the morning, Reggie and Kate convened in Matt's quarters, awaiting instructions from the tactical commander. Their objective for the day was clear: infiltrate the treacherous tunnel and dismantle Manuel Diaz's criminal operations. However, Kate couldn't shake the feeling that she was merely a pawn in the CIA's game, used to secure operational authorization. Reggie attempted to convince her to abandon the mission and leave Matt to face the challenges alone. Yet, Kate's determination to apprehend Manuel Diaz persisted. Meanwhile, Silvio, a corrupt police officer, had been assigned the task of transporting several kilograms of illicit substances. As night descended, Matt led the special forces near the tunnel. They meticulously inspected their weaponry and donned night vision goggles, readying themselves for the imminent operation. With all preparations in place, the high-stakes mission commenced. While conducting reconnaissance, the aerial team made a startling discovery inside the tunnel. In response, the infiltration team decided to venture into the tunnel and neutralize some of Manuel Diaz's henchmen. Kate and Reggie were part of the second team that entered the tunnel. Suddenly, the echoes of gunfire reverberated through the tunnel. It became apparent that the leading team was engaged in a fierce firefight with Manuel Diaz's men. At the other end of the tunnel, Silvio prepared to transport the illicit substances. However, Alejandro unexpectedly appeared, swiftly dispatching one of the drug dealers with a gunshot. Silvio, taken aback by the sudden turn of events, found himself in a state of panic. As Alejandro began searching Silvio, Kate emerged, aiming her weapon at Alejandro. Unwilling to be disturbed, Alejandro reluctantly shot at Kate's bulletproof vest, ensuring she would recover. He instructed her to catch her breath and return to the tunnel while he used Silvio as bait to confront Manuel Diaz and Fausto Alarcon. Meanwhile, the other team members prepared to depart, leaving the remaining tasks to Alejandro. Suddenly, Kate emerged from the tunnel, launching a strike at Matt's face. Reacting swiftly, Matt managed to calm her down. Finally, he revealed the truth behind their mission. From the very beginning, the objective of Matt and Alejandro was not to capture Manuel Diaz and Fausto Alarcon, but rather to eliminate these two ruthless cartel leaders. This revelation shocked Kate. She learned that Alejandro is actually a hired assassin working for the Colombian cartel. Furthermore, he carried a personal vendetta against Fausto Alarcon, who had gruesomely executed Alejandro's wife and beloved daughter. Despite hearing his explanation, Kate insisted on reporting the incident to the FBI. In the meantime, Alejandro located Manuel Diaz, who was driving his car. He instructed Silvio to halt Manuel Diaz's vehicle, and when Manuel Diaz stepped out, Alejandro seized the opportunity. He used Silvio as bait and swiftly eliminated both Silvio and Manuel Diaz with precise shots. With Manuel Diaz at his mercy, Alejandro coerced him to drive to Fausto Alarcon's residence. Reluctantly, the mobster complied, leaving behind Silvio's lifeless body. As Alejandro reached Fausto Alarcon's residence, he wasted no time in eliminating Manuel Diaz and the guards that stood in his way. After swiftly dispatching all the guards, Alejandro finally confronted Fausto Alarcon, who was enjoying a meal with his wife and 2 children. Alejandro calmly joined them at the table. In this chilling moment, Fausto Alarcon started to recall the horrifying fate he had inflicted upon Alejandro's own family. However, he callously remarked that it was nothing personal, but Alejandro knew that his family could never be brought back. Determined to exact his revenge, Alejandro made a grim decision. He mercilessly slaughtered Fausto Alarcon's innocent children and wife right before his eyes, mirroring the merciless act Fausto Alarcon had once committed against Alejandro's own loved ones. With the weight of his sins now undeniable, Fausto Alarcon trembled in fear as he faced the consequences of his actions. Alejandro swiftly ended his life, delivering the long-awaited justice. Following day, Alejandro caught Kate on the balcony, engrossed in her cigarette. Startled, Kate was taken aback by Alejandro's sudden appearance. He compelled her to sign a document, claiming that his actions were justified by protocol. Reluctant, Kate hesitated to comply, but Alejandro's menacing display of a gun left her with no choice. Feeling trapped, she reluctantly put her signature on the paper. As Alejandro prepared to depart, an intense desire to end his life surged within Kate. However, to her bewilderment, she found herself unable to act upon that impulse. The reasons behind her restraint eluded her, leaving her perplexed and conflicted. Moral lesson of the story is to trust your instincts, but exercise caution and avoid jumping to conclusions. By balancing intuition with critical thinking, we can make better decisions and navigate complex